Oh, I love those commercials. Good day, business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. I am Sherella Horton of Inner Genius Unlocked, a full service academic support center, creating a global support network for our youth. Join us at Genius Unlocked Co op Group on Facebook. I am your business moderator for this evening on the Black Business Network. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders worldwide. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Japan, and cities all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community sharing its business knowledge to empower, inspire, and educate businesses about businesses. Our next speaker is Miss Margie McLean. Margie McLean is the counselor, educator, mentor, and a women and girls empowerment moderator. With 20 years of experience in empowerment and leadership workshops, she uses her life experiences to transform the lives of women and build self-esteem in girls and youth. Thank you, Ms. McLean, for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. And yourself?
I am well. Thank you for coming. Genius is common, and I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you. We cultivate, we foster, and we lead future leaders for the 21st century. Good afternoon. My name is Margie McLean. Margie McLean of the Margie McLean Foundation, where we empower youth, their families by providing education, enrichment, health and wellness programs, one-on-one mentoring that fosters entrepreneurships, social justice advocates, community service leaders in the 21st century and beyond. Today, we will be discussing the good, the bad, and the ugly of social media marketing. And I have with me today, first, Mr. James Rosa of the Rosa Foundation. Good afternoon, Mr. Rosa.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. And yourself?
I am great. Enjoying this nice snow we have here in North Carolina.
So if you can, please tell us a little bit about yourself and the Rosa Foundation, please.
Well, once again, my name is James Rosa Jr. I am the executive director and co-founder with my wife, Tebony Rosa, for the Rosa Foundation. Been around since about 2017, 18, around that time, and we just been helping the community. The Rosa Foundation is a nonprofit organization, 501c3, and we are boots on the ground. We go out into the community and help the community to the best of our ability, whether it is donating food, donating face masks, coats. We just had a Latin festival a couple of months ago. We're trying to do our third annual Men's Making Positive Changes, where we give out awards to men in our community for making positive changes. And we also, we gave out face masks to our community, to our schools in Guilford County. We gave out over 2,000 face masks for the kids and adults as well. We started with a gardening program here in Greensboro to teach the youth how to garden, but it was just more than just teaching them how to garden. It was like teaching them how to be responsible, how to work together, and then we did a job health fair after that, when we were helping people to get jobs and to get screening at the same time. We also did it's called Youth in Business. We are going to be launching it back up in around June, where we teach our youth between the ages of 14 and 16 on how to start their own business. And we are also bringing the gardening program back as well for the youth as well. We just donated over 100 coats to our Title I schools in Guilford County. Last year, we did over 500. The beginning of last year, and then the year before that, a week before Christmas, we gave out, for adults and kids, we gave out over 500 coats, and we gave out a little bit over 100 food boxes. When the pandemic came, we made a decision whether we was going to just not do anything, or we're going to move the foundation forward, and we took the bulls by the horn and we rode it. We fed our senior citizens. We fed over 200 senior citizens, where we bought them a week's worth of groceries. And we're going to actually do that project again in April.
That's awesome.
We also fed our supermarket workers in our community and one day stay nurses over at home health in our area as well. We fed them lunch to show them our appreciation. I might be forgetting some things. My wife is usually on next to me to cheer me on and to tell me what I'm missing.
You're doing wonderful.
But,
You're doing wonderful.
how we started the foundation was a question that my wife had asked me, and I told her, I was planning to run for city council here in Greensboro, but I made a decision that I think I can do more behind the scenes through the nonprofit, and we made a decision to do the nonprofit. And I started the nonprofit in the memories of my father and my son, and she started it in the memories of her mother. So we just been doing some good things. We are looking to give out at our 4th annual Men's Making Positive Change, where we're going to give out 2 $1,000 scholarships to the youth for it's called the Tony Cameron Scholarship for the Performing Arts. So let's say, for instance, if you're pulling the rope on the curtain, you're eligible to receive that grant if you have all your stuff together. So those are some of the things that we've been doing. I can remember people in my community back in New York. My father was one of those that he helped the kids in our community. I was lucky to have a mother and a father. At that time, I couldn't understand why my father was being a part of these kids' lives, right? I didn't understand that. I just know that I wanted my father to be a part of my life, not just them, And as I got older, I realized what he was doing. Them kids didn't have a father. My friends didn't have fathers. So he was playing that role for them. And to this day, if you ask my friends anything about my father, ask them anything about my father, those will be one of the things that they would say, that he helped them out and he was there for them. So today I understand, and I want to do the same thing for my community. There's times that it's rough. The foundation gets rough. Some days I just want to give up, but then I remember where I was at, and somebody helped me to get by, and somebody just cheered me on. So I want to do the same thing for my community. It's very important. And in November, we're planning to do a walk, and it's going to be health screening. It's going to be in the memories of my son. The Dave run and walk. It's going to be a glow run walk, and what we're trying to do is to screen the men in our community, help screen our men in our community, because our men in our community don't like going to the doctor, right? So that's what we want to do. It's free for them. We want to take care of them. It don't matter if you're Spanish, black, white, come down and get screened, because it's better to know than not to know. And then after we screen the men, then we'll go ahead and do the women and the kids, and then the walk will start. So there's a lot of stuff that we're doing, and we love it. We appreciate it. We thank the God of our understanding for giving us the strength and the knowledge to be able to do it.
I'm really excited about the Men Walk. Thank you for allowing me to be on your board for that program. Why do you think it's so important for this program that you are taking in November?
It's important because, again, my dad was sick, and at one point he didn't know what was going on until my mother got him to go to the doctor. A lot of times it takes the wife or the girlfriend or the mother or the grandmother to get that man to get screened. So it's because we're losing a lot of men in our community because of that, because men are dying of heart attacks at age 30, 40 years old. I mean, I feel if they go to the doctor, they might catch it in time. Diabetes. I suffer from diabetes because, at one point I was one of those that didn't like going to the doctor. I don't like to get stuck with needles. I don't like nobody poking on me or anything, but I knew that if I want to be around for my kids and for my grandkids, now I have a great grandson, I want to be around for them. So I need to make sure that I go to the doctor, and I want all the brothers in our community to come out and do the same thing. It's very important to us because we don't want to lose our men because of that.
So when we look at business-wise, what drives you to keep going with your nonprofit? I know you said that you was looking at thinking about giving up sometimes, but what drives you, keep you you driven to do what you do in the community?
When I help someone, and I don't get me emotional here. when I help somebody, and the smile and the happiness that they got on their face, especially if it's a child, when I give a child a coat, a brand new coat, how excited they get, the smile, and that's what keeps me going.
Mm-hmm.
That's what keeps me going and moving to continue to do it. If you ask my wife, sometimes I come up with ideas at 3:00 in the morning, and it's because I want to continue to help my community to the best of my ability, because people were there for me when I was down and out.
So how do you find funding for your organization?
How I find funding, honestly, I talk to people that have businesses. I talk to, I'll go to the city or to the county or somebody else like yourself. Let's say, you'll put me on to somebody else. My thing is, all I need is for you to set up an appointment, and I'll do the talking.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll just go on the computer and say, well, let's look at this company and see what they're offering. And we just go ahead and apply for whatever they have or send them an email. A lot of times people do get back to us. We talk and we discuss and they say, hey, at this moment we don't have it, but if you come back on this day, we'll work it out. No guarantees, but we'll work it out. Or here you go. Here's the money that you need for whatever project you're doing. Or sometimes they'll just say, hey, is this not a perfect fit for us right now? But I don't give up. I continue to go.
So when we talk about getting those funds, how do you connect, again, network? How important is networking with other organizations? You mentioned. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It's important to network with other organizations. As you see, Margie, I'm not one of those that I want to keep everything to myself. I have no issues with partnering or helping other organizations to come together, because I feel, sometimes we have like 3 or 4 different organizations in the same community doing the same thing, and sometimes for me, what I see, a lot of things don't really get done the way they should. But I feel if we come together and partner together and put all of our resources together, we can do a whole lot better, right? We can help more people. I don't feel that somebody's stealing my shine. My God gives me my shine, and your God gives you your shine. So let's put this shine together so we can shine brighter and do the things that we need to do for our community. I'm not in competition with anybody. I cheer on everybody else that are doing something in the community. And again, if we can come together and do things, hey, it's awesome. But I will continue to do with people I will continue to do the work that the God of my understanding see fit for me to do.
Mm-hmm. So I do believe in village. I do believe in the village mentality where we come together and we work together cohesively to make sure that our community thrives. So with your nonprofit, I know we have the male workshop that's coming. Do you have any other programs that you are planning?
Yes, let me just say this real quick. I cannot do this by myself without my team. So I have to send a great shout out to the Rosa Foundation team. They know who they are, and I think some of them are on here. Without you guys, I would never be able to do this, especially my wife. She is the backbone of this foundation. So I just wanted to say that. And can you please, the next project, again, like I said, with the next project we're trying to do, we're looking to do the Men's Making Positive Changes Award ceremony on the 3rd, in March of this year. But due to COVID, we're not sure if we're going to do it. We're probably going to push it to November. And the reason why we like to do it in November is because November 19th is Men's International Day. And here in Greensboro, North Carolina, we have it where it's Men's International Month. Every year we'll bring it up. And we're trying to get it to the governor's office, to his desk, so he can make it a North Carolina Men's International Month. Okay. So that's one of the projects. And we're also working on our youth in business, which we're trying to launch that in June. And we're also doing our teaching the youth how to garden, that program. We're bringing that program back up. We're looking to do that sometime in April. I'm partnering up with Abdallah Temple and Abdallah Court in High Point, which is on the Shriners PHA Shriners, we're partnering up with them to feed our community, our senior citizens in High Point, North Carolina. And I'm also partnering up with Beauty of Greensboro and Lone Star in Reesville. We're partnering up with them to feed our senior citizens in that community as well. So we're still looking for sponsorship. We're still looking for people to help us we can get this project done.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. I love the fact that you do not mind going out and finding partnerships or just talking, because a lot of times people wait for things to come to them and it never do. So you have to go out there and make it happen. And so when we talk about our youth, I know I am starting a youth business expo. I know we have the Black Business Expo. I'm starting a youth business expo. I started off teaching a course called Turn Your Passion into Your Paycheck, in which I went and spoke with high school students about taking anything that they love and they can turn that into a business. If you love playing basketball, you can start a basketball camp. You do not have to wait until you're an adult. Why do you think it's so important for us to start teaching our kids or our youth entrepreneurship skills at a young age?
In our community, our youth don't know nothing other than what they are in. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but we need to teach our youth that there's other things other than what's going on in their community, right? Some kids are dealing with where they're not eating until they get to school. Some of them are dealing with drugs and gun violence in their area. We need to let them know that it's other things out there that you can go do and to help you to get out of your community. So it's very important because we're losing our youth at a massive rate. Yeah. I know when I was growing up, we were losing them, but not the way we losing our youth now. And it's important to teach them to know that there's something better other than where they at. And they can get their business together. I see 9-year-olds start their business, 7 years old starting a business and doing great. You want to start your business to help yourself and your family to get out of the situation that you may not be comfortable in. So it's important to teach them so when they get older, they don't have to depend on somebody else. They can start their own business. They can make their own money and invest in different things so they can live a better life than what they're living now.
Yes, I remember a friend of mine in college named Michael Sweeney. He started cutting hair when he was in college. He wasn't licensed yet, but that's how he made his money while he was in college. And then after he graduated, he went to barber school, and now he has his own barber school. And so he just started from what he loved to do, and now he is teaching others what he loved to do, the craft of what he loves to do, and he's doing very, very well in it. So we really need to work to teach our kids that you don't necessarily have to go and work for someone else. You can take what you love to do and start your business. Go and get a business degree. You don't have to be like what we was taught, to go to college, get your 4-year degree, and go work for someone else. And you are on a job where you are relying on someone for your paycheck versus your own money.
Yes.
One of the things I will say growing up was my parents taught me that we call them hustlers. They was hustling. They had their side gigs that they would what we call a side gig. But what they did was they taught me. My father started his own business out of his van. He was working for someone. They let him go, and he started using that craft and started his own tire business in his van, going from place to place, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. We was with him, and then he ended up starting his own business, owning his own, commercial property. From there, if you looked at where he was before to now, what he had before he passed, now he have a legacy to pass on to me.
Yes.
And I have a legacy to pass on as well. So we now have this commercial property, and no one can believe, this young man who didn't have a full education. He just took what he loved to do and started a business. My mother took me around when we used to really yard sale, and yard selling was a big thing. That's what she took me to do. And they taught me that entrepreneurship always have some way to make money, the legal way. So we need to start teaching our youth that. I think that's very important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Very important. Very important. And again, teaching the youth how to start their business. Hopefully, they can teach somebody else how to do the same thing, or bring somebody in to help them. and hopefully at some point they can come back to their community and help their community just as we are doing.
Exactly. So I thank you for coming. Do you have anything else you would like to tell us about your organization?
That we are a hard-working organization. Like I said, boots on the ground. We care about our community. We are international. If y'all want to look at our website, is rosa-foundation.com. Once again, rosa-foundation.com, and look at all the things that we have done and the things that we're looking to do.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rosa. We're going to bring you back. I'm going to bring you back, and we will get your information at the end. Next, we are going to bring up Miss Charlotte Green. Miss Charlotte Green is going to tell us a little bit about her organization as well.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Margie. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to appear today on the panel for Black Business Expo. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about CG Soars. I don't talk that much, so hopefully I can give you enough information to where it would be useful. Well, again, my name is Charlotte Green, and I am the founder and the executive director of CG Soars. And SOARS is an acronym for Second Opportunities Always Reaches Success. And our mission is to improve the opportunities of first-time convicted African-American male felons re-entering society as productive law-abiding citizens by assisting with employment, their employment placement, and training, as well as we just added a new program to address at-risk African-American adolescent males by circumventing judicial experiences. Our program key partners are the Greensboro and High Point Probation Departments, Guilford County Reentry Council, NC Works, and Guilford County Department of Social Services Work First program. We all share the same mission, and that's what motivated us to partner with them. And for me, it all started in 2009 when my son was arrested and charged with his first felony. He served 2.5 years in federal prison at a very young age. When he was paroled, he was quickly identified as a felon, a tag that followed him for the rest of his life. He experienced limited job opportunities, limited resources, and limited skills. Nevertheless, he was fortunate enough to have family and family friends that supported him in various ways. Programs to benefit his situation was slim to none, and I realized some people just don't know how to access them. He struggled to fit back into society as a productive citizen. He needed more, and more wasn't available. After witnessing him experience troublesome times, we built him a support system. We developed a village. A new leash and opportunity was given to him to succeed. As time went by, I saw the need to get involved to help others that may have fallen along the wayside and just needed a second chance to succeed, a gateway to build more villages. I lost my son in 2018 to gun violence. I reevaluated my thoughts in his honor, and from at that time is when CG Soars was brought to realization in the midst of COVID-19.
So thank you so much for that information. One of the questions I would like to ask is, why do you think it is so important for us to have a reentry program?
It's important. It's very important to have a reentry program because, like I said, from personal experiences, I saw how it brought my son down. To once getting out, you just feel like you're out there on your own. Then you normally get released and give a list of things that you have to do, and you don't have anyone to be there with you to get those things completed. A lot of men are coming out; they don't have a place to stay. They don't even have the clothes to wear for an interview. They may not have the proper means to get to an interview. So those are some of the things that we try to offer, as far as giving Lyft and Uber ride certificates or credits to where they can get a ride to an interview, even, have a men's cave is what we're going to call it, where they can go shop for a nice dress shirt and a pair of slacks. And if there's nothing there, then we will give them a shopping voucher to go and pick up some decent clothes to where they can go to an interview. And then we don't want to just have them as a number, a statistic. We want to keep our hands on. Everyone says I have a nurturing, I I don't know which word to say, but some people just want to have that to feel close to a mommy or an auntie or a grandma or a cousin. So that's the relationship that I want to build with the individual once they are trying to reenter society, to let them know they're just not out there alone.
So when do you work with youth who possibly have parents who are in prison, and when they
Yes.
come back? Okay,
Yes, we want to be there because, a lot of times they're seeking, they may miss their dad or their uncle or their grandfather, or, and so we want to work with them, mentor them, do some activities with them. If it's things that they may need, we try to make sure that we seek that out to get that for them, or either give them resources. One of the things that one of the projects that we did do in May, we gave away Mary Kay pampering sets to moms, aunties, grandmothers of incarcerated men. And it just made them feel so special because it didn't think anyone would be thinking of them in that way, especially a stranger on Mother's Day.
So do you offer also resources such as counseling services, social working services for the youth?
We would resource that out.
Okay.
Yes, we would definitely, if they came and it was something that we couldn't handle, I would definitely find the resources and make sure that they get the information or the services that they need.
So how do you find the funding to assist you with this program?
So far, because I'm just probably a year and a half in, so most of the year and a half it's been fundraising. I've been doing a lot of fundraising. I even turned my 55th birthday, into a fundraising activity. So most of the funds so far has been fundraising. We have received a grant, and then we've also received some in-kind donations. So networking with other people, you've been a great resource as well to help, so everything, I'm like a sponge. Everything that I see, I'm jotting it down, from social media. If someone sends me something, I'm following up on it, because it does take funds to operate and do these things.
I'm glad you brought up social media, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. With that being said, and I don't want to get into the questions, so I bring up Mr. Rosen and we get into that discussion. How hard has it been to be able, to start this program?
It has been hard, and I'm going to contribute that to COVID-19, because we've been just so restricted on what we can do, where we can go, how we can approach people, because we really wanted to work within the prison system, because our program is set up to get a referral from the probation officer probably 30 or 60 days out. Well, it's kind of hard, we can't go into the prison systems or the jails to, whatever. So our face-to-face have been a little off. And then also as well with the employment industry, it's kind of hard to get employment, even for those that are not criminally, that has a criminal background. So we try to find employers that are, I say, background friendly, that would give these individuals an opportunity.
When we talk about background friendly, has it been difficult finding businesses that will work with those who are being re-entered and back into the society?
No, it hasn't, because normally what we do when we are researching, that is a main question that we ask. And it all depends on their background, the extent of what their crime was. And then some places, don't do background checks at all. They're at the top of our list, So if it's not going to be like a whole lot of going, checking their background, those are the ones that we try to go to. But what I found out mostly is it's more challenging trying to get the individual in the program than it is to give them a job. I don't like hearing it, but a lot of people say, nobody wants to work anyway, I hate hearing that. But then, sometimes it's like, well, I'm here, I'm ready to help you, I'm out here. So, it's both ways, but, with employers, I found a system, and I write them down. If I know someone, if someone puts something out to say, well, this employer does not, they do have felons or people with backgrounds, I make sure I put that on the list and do further research on it.
So what are some ways that you try to make sure that the person is very successful in your program? Have you ever had someone that end up going back, or how is successful the program?
Well, so far, no, we haven't had anyone to go back. And what our main goal is, like I said, to pair them up with probably, and this isn't probably the word that I should use, but like more of a street mentor, someone that understands them. They can relate to them a little more than coming into an office to a person with a suit and tie. They'll be more to say, yeah, bro, why you ain't go to work today? Right. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people that may have went down the same road that they've gone down, and that can understand their plight of what they're having to go through.
Sometimes I have family members who have was re-entered back into the program. Some are successful, some are not. How do you work on changing the mentality of them coming out if they've been in the system for a long time and kind of coming back to re-enter back into that system? Do you have to change the mindset, or tell me a little bit about that?
They would definitely have to want to do something different, and they would have to push a little harder. That's why our main focus is first time felons, because if they did, the first time they're like, okay, what, I don't want to do that no more. They may slip up, but at least the first time it may be a little easier than working with a repeat offender.
Do you work with law officers also to let them know that you are working with these particular citizens?
Yes, that's where my husband comes in. My husband is retired from law enforcement. He actually retired as associate warden of Chino Institution for Men, and so he's our liaison with the probation and parole and the police departments, things of that such.
That's awesome. So with that being said, we're going to bring back, thank you, Ms. Green. We're going to bring back Mr. Rosa, and we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of social media. Hey, Mr. Rosa, you back?
Hey, I am back.
So we're going to go ahead. We have learned so much about your organizations. We're going to get information at the end of the show so we can get you some followers and those who may want to support. Awesome. So the first question I want to ask is, if you are using social media, why have you placed your business on social media? Why is that important to you? I'll start with Ms. Green.
Excuse me. I've decided to place my nonprofit on social media to get more visibility, because being the new kid on the block is hard, especially with someone that has already been there. So that's why I really take to partnering with other people. If we're doing the same thing and we're having the same cause, I am here to partner, So basically my reason for social media was to gain visibility, let people know that we are out here.
Thank you. Mr. Rosa?
The same thing for us, social media, is a double-edged sword, right? But social media can also reach people that I don't know here, or people that might be 10,000 miles, 1,000 miles away from me that I cannot reach if we didn't have social media. So that's it helps us to put us out there. It helps people to get to know who we are and what we do on the regular.
One thing I will say, it definitely will bring us to the forefront. I had to learn myself for my own organization when COVID hit. I was one who worked behind the scenes. I didn't have to be in the public, but in order for my brand to reach others, I had to learn how to use social media. And one of the things I started due to quarantine, I started a reading what I call the Rainbow Story Time, and where we have authors that actually come in and read to children. We started off with maybe about 5 kids, and now we have reached countries such as Canada, New Zealand, Liberia, the UK, and I just recently had a parent from the Philippines to reach out to me as well, and that's all due to social media and just using that platform. And also it brings in other authors to show their books as well. And so we have these books going to these different countries. So now you're not just having your book within United States. Now they're all over the world. So what do your company aim to achieve using social media?
Say that one more time.
What does your company aim to achieve using social media, Mr. Rosa?
To continue to reach people, not just here in the United States, to reach people outside of the United States. Like I said, last year we did a ribbon cutting that we became Rosa Foundation International.
Yes.
That's my goal, to reach people outside of this country. It's just not about just here in the United States. So that's my goal, to reach through social media, to be able to reach people that are not here in the United States.
Well, our goal is to basically reach people and the masses to reduce recidivism. We don't want people repeating the same mistakes. Mm-hmm. So we just want to reach that mass of people, even it be through the people that are out here on the streets that can carry it back and say, we know of a program that can help you, gain employment, mm-hmm. and mostly that's the main reason a lot of crime exists, is because of money and not having enough resources to do what you have to do. Mm-hmm. So, giving them that good feel of being able to have gainful employment and to feel good about themselves, and just keep that going forward and not having to repeat and go backwards.
That's awesome. Which social media social channels do you use mostly?
I use mostly Facebook, only because I tried tweeting when it first came out and I never got into it. And I'm trying to get my grandchildren to tell me the ins and out about Instagram. Mm-hmm. So it will probably be, Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if I ever learned to tweet or not.
Well, we do the tweeting, we do Instagram, we do Facebook, and there's some other platforms that I want to learn about to be able to do the same thing on. We also, and I might say this the wrong way, but LinkedIn, we also do that one as well.
I'm trying to get used to it. TikTok, I can't. I cannot pick up another social media. Lord have mercy. So we have about 20 minutes. So what topics or sources, information are important to those that you are trying to reach? So what topics and source of information are important to you?
Ms. Green?
Well, mine would definitely be employment. Who's hiring? That's the main thing. Who's hiring? How much they paying right now? With my group, it really doesn't matter how much they're paying, because some money is better than no money. Mm-hmm. So mostly ours will be with who's hiring, and for other resources, if they need housing, where can I get a affordable apartment or affordable transportation, or how to get back and forth to work.
For us, it's just being able to continue to help the community in what they need. Not every time we have what the community need, but to be able to partner with somebody else and say, hey, can you help this organization? So it's just to be able to reach and get people to help us and do the things that we need to do to help our community.
What type of content should you post on your social media platform?
I want to say this, I'm a reflection of my foundation, right? And the foundation is a reflection of me. So if I post negative talk or negative videos on my personal social media, it reflects my foundation as well, because Rosa is my last name. So it is a reflection of myself, my wife, and everyone that's in that organization, and my family. So I cannot talk negative and be negative about something, then expect people to come to me and say, hey, can you help me with this? Or can we partner with this? Or, I don't want my foundation to be looked at as negative as my personal social media. So I don't like to post anything negative on my own social media. So it's always about positive things as much as possible. So it reflects on my foundation.
Ms. Green?
Yes, I agree with Mr. Rosa about, staying positive, keeping the two platforms separate, your personal and your business. However, they're still outside of posting like the different laws, how, as far as our website is concerned, how the laws are changing, how they can benefit from certain things, those are things that we try to post on our website.
Yeah, I started back doing like positive affirmations on my personal, just to give people some positive light when they wake up in the morning. And like you said, if they see anything negative on my account, and then I say, hey, go to Margie McLean Foundation, and then they like and they see I'm all, I'm helping the whoever, but they just saw this on my, it makes a difference, so
Yes.
like, I don't know
Yes.
about that, especially with me working with youth and,
Yes.
and things. And so now they're like, well, I don't know if I want my niece to be a part of that, because I saw you doing. So yes, it's very important for you to be careful what you post on your social media page as well, personal. What are the main topics or categories or message that supports your brand? Go with Miss Green.
Repeat that again.
What are the main topics, categories, or messages that support your brand?
I guess it still goes back to, second chances, employment, and reducing recidivism, just being able to be productive with getting back into society, and getting rid of that tag that you was given, that's not your first name, it's not your last name. Just getting rid of it. You made your mistake, you paid your dues to society, and you want to just move on.
And let me say this also. You are no longer a number. You are now a name, and that makes a difference. You're no longer a number. You have a name now in society, and that's what we need to do. You need to rebuild your name. I like that. Mr. Rosa.
Can you ask that question one more time?
What are your main topics, category, or what's the message that supports your brand?
Provide, nurture, and growth. That's it. That's in a nutshell. Providing resources to our community, nurturing our community, especially our youth, and to help them grow. We don't want our community to always have their hand out. I need to teach you how to, I forgot how it goes, but if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat forever.
Yes.
So that's what I want to do with our community. I don't want our community just to be action. I want them to be able to say, hey, I have an idea. Can you help me with this idea so I can flourish and make things better for my community and for my family? So it's about positivity all the way.
And we working together. The Bible said one plant, one gives the water, and the Lord does the increase. So with that being said, we have to make sure that we're working together as well for our youth. We have to, whatever we put in is what we're going to get out. I definitely live by you sow what you reap, you reap what you sow. So whatever you put in, that's what you get out. And so we as a community need to figure out, what are we putting into our youth? And what do we expect to get back from them? And that includes social media. What are we feeding our kids on social media, or allowing our kids to watch on social media? And then what are they getting back? What are we getting back from them? So
let's not forget our senior citizens.
Oh yeah,
they are the most important, as well as our youth, because our youth cannot learn anything unless we have our senior citizens that has the wisdom and the knowledge. And I feel during the pandemic, a lot of the senior citizens fell through the cracks. Everybody was focusing on the youth, but they forgot about the senior citizens. So let's not forget them as well.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you said that. We did a technology day for NCNW, National Council of Negro Women. And for my section, that's one of the things that we done was we got our youth on Zoom, and we started working with them technology-wise, because we have moved now to strictly virtual.
Yep.
And so some of them are trying to figure out how to use this Zoom. So I wanted them to be in the meeting and use the Zoom. I had to do this training for them to make sure that they knew what to do. So, and I think that's something that we need to do as far as social media. That's kind of like the ugly of social media, that we now are full-fledged social media, and our senior citizens like, what in the world is this? So we have to be able to train them. If not, get the youth now to train them. We had our youth to our seniors to train our youth. Now it's time for our youth now to train our seniors. So I think that is very important. Should you use social media to provide customer service?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about it.
I feel that, you know, customer service, we do customer service every day when we go on social media and promote our foundations and our organizations.
Mhm.
That's you know, customer service there, because when somebody say, hey, how can you help, we have to put on that hat and be that customer and tell them how we can help them, where they can get help if we can't help them, and things like that. So yeah, it's very important to our social media to be customer service related as well.
Good.
Yes,
All
I agree with that. And I use more, and I guess because we're different in what we do, but I use a lot of customer service with my son's business. You know, when we do certain things, we go above and beyond, you know, to make sure that their delivery is getting there, you know, texting, calling, whatever. We on our way with your cookies, you know, what do you want us to leave them? We taking pictures like Amazon. If they tell us to drop them off, we taking a picture. We drop your cookies off on the porch. This is the picture, you know, whatever. So customer service is very, you know, very important. And when you don't get it, you think, you know, well, maybe I just had a bad day today. Let's just go to bed and wake up and start over. Just customer service is very important.
And sometimes your customer service is not necessarily you talking to them. Your customer service is, again, what you put on your social media.
Yep.
And they look at that and they can, you know, people build their thoughts around, you know, first impression. Just looking at your social media page. So it lets me know, do I really want to do business with them, on top of word of mouth as well. And word of mouth, social media. I will say one of the things in Fayetteville, North Carolina, we had a business. I don't want to put the name out, but we had a business, and it was thriving. And next thing I know, the business was there no more. And what happened was the owner had made a comment on his social media page, didn't realize how small our city was and how you know, well connected everyone is. And it just spread like wildfire. And I will say that business is no more. So you have to definitely be careful what you put on your social media. Ms. Green?
Yes, that was actually one of the top 3 things when I was reading on the pros and cons of social media, where it says loss of control. For instance, if you have a dissatisfied customer, they post something negative, it goes viral. That's it. So you lost control of what at one time you did have control over. So it's a risk, you know, of negative publicity even when you own social media.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know, because, you know, people do make comments of your organization, whether it's on your Facebook or on your website, you know, or they'll put something and attach you to it, and everybody else sees it. And if your customer service is not good, and if you're not treating people the right way, you know, we always going to have that one individual that's going to, you know, do what they're going to do. But we still got to continue to keep our head up and treat people right. We want to treat people the way we want to be treated.
And it honestly only takes one. I would say when I go to purchase something off of Amazon, or it could be 100 5-star. I'm gonna go to that 1 star and 2 stars to see what they said, and that would make me determine if I want to purchase that. And I noticed that myself. You know, I go and look at a product, and you know, it's like 5-star or 4.9. And I'm like, okay, who is that 0.1 that didn't like it? Let me go and look at it. And then I'm like, nah, I don't want it because of that. You know? You know, and we think about bad news spread faster than good news. You know, you have one person who don't like your service, and that was spread faster than the 5 who said, my goodness, her cookies was the best.
Yes.
And you have that one. So you have to, again, just be careful what you put on your social media. So that, again, that's the ugly of social media. What resources do we have when we talk about content? What's some realistic resources that we can use when we talk about social media? What are some resources that you use to pretty much get your business out to the public?
Interesting.
Me, I would say brochures, you know, marketing pamphlets. If you can do like newsletters or you know, things, something just to put in their hand, you know, to let them know that you exist.
Okay.
Yeah, I do the same thing. You know, we make pamphlets, we have business cards. So any chance that I have an opportunity to give someone my business card, I give it to them. The same thing if we have our pamphlets. So if we set up a table somewhere, we're going to have all the information that they're going to need, right, to help them. Give me 1 second. My wife just sent me a message.
And also, and while he's saying that, you can also take your pamphlet and you can convert it to be a JPEG, where you can post it on your website or post it on your on your social media. You actually can also take it and turn it into a link as well. Where when someone go to your website, I have that. When someone go to your website, they click. I put the click here, and the brochure will pop up. So it's plenty of ways to actually have that resource as well.
We also get help through our chamber, because I'm also a member of the Chamber of Commerce, of the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce. They also help out as well, and also a member of the nonprofit consortium. So this is another way that we can get us out there, is through them. When we post it on their pages, they go ahead and share it for us. So that's another way of people getting to know us as well, other than just the business cards and the brochures.
So who should set up and maintain your company's social media account?
We kind of do that ourselves. We do have help. We do have help by a young lady named Holly Holiday that helps us with ours when we are kind of confused with certain things, because we're still learning. But my wife does most of everything that's get posted on our social media. She takes care of that, because we are small, and hopefully one day we can grow, because that's our goal, is to have an office where we can provide services for people. So yeah.
Well, right now I'm the sole person that's responsible. We are, like I said, we are fairly new and looking forward to more people with more expertise in doing so. That would be great, because I'm trying to understand the SEOs of I'm like, okay, what is that? Let me Google, let me see what I'm doing or what I have to do differently to try to get that traffic. So right now it's just me.
Same. I'm trying to learn hashtag. I'm trying to make sure how I have the right hashtag and everything. And I'm trying to get the young people to teach me that. I also have Miss Sharon Campbell Solution Group. She had been working with me and telling me what to do and when to do it and things like that. So I actually really, really love the fact that I have a mentor, and I can call her when I need, and she'd be like, "Girl, this is what you need to do." And that's exactly you need this, what you need to do. So with that being said, what is the workflow from content creation to publication? So how do you flow as far as creating content to making sure that it's publicized on your social media?
Go ahead, Ms. Green.
Okay, well, with me, I try to, like, if I have an events tab, so if something's coming up, I like to always put the flyer or the brochure, on my website as well as on my social media page, so that people know what's going on. And I'm learning that even with Eventbrite, if you have something coming up, just people are looking for things to do all the time, put it up there, they would draw people to come out and see what's going on.
Okay. Mr. Rosen?
Margie, I'm say that question one more time.
So with your workflow from content creation, from creating the content to publicizing the content, how do you have your workflow? How does that work?
Well, I come up with an idea at 3:00 in the morning. I bump my wife and say, "Hey, babe, I got an idea." And she's like, "Leave me alone. We'll talk about it tomorrow." But no, seriously, I come up with the ideas. I tell my wife, she puts it on paper, and we put everything together, the wording. She corrects my spelling if it needs to. And we put everything together and make sure that everything is right, that's presentable. Then we go ahead and put it on our social media. And from there, we tag all our board members and advisors and friends and family that we can. We'll tag them onto it. So hopefully they can share it as well.
One thing that you said was important. I would say Ms. Green, one thing that you said important with Eventbrite.
Yes.
You can get a following on Eventbrite as well. So every time you post something, it will pop up on your following. So you actually now can get a following on Eventbrite. And that's the reason why I do a lot of registrations, whether it's free. even if it doesn't cost anything free, anything I do a registration so people can see it. And so I have a lot of people who would email me about my events, and I'd be like, how you know about that? And they was like, well, I saw it on Eventbrite. One is because they follow me on another event. And I will say also with Mr. Rosa, what you said, I think is really, really important for us to make sure that we have 2, 3, or 4 eyes to look at what we post before we post it, because that makes a difference as well. I know I make a lot of flyers for my organization, and Charlotte and them can tell you, I post it in our group me, and then they'll tell me, wait a minute, you got to misspelling or what's up. And then sometimes I post too fast on social media, then I got to be like, oh, and delete it before someone else see it. So I'm like, oh shoot, let me see. So, but with that being said, they are my second eyes, and what so have you. I know I have 4 eyes. I got my glasses here, and I have 4 eyes, but I also need another pair of eyes to make sure that my spelling is correct. So it's good to make sure that you have someone to read over it. Even sometimes with us typing, we type fast. We think faster than what we type. And I noticed that with me a lot of times. And so some of my friends, I'm a teacher as well. So a lot of my friends who are English teachers be like, let me read your stuff before you post it, please. In the email. And so that's what I do. I let them read it just to go over it, just to make sure I'm good. Sometimes I have to read over it 3 or 4 times to make sure it sounds right. And so, so with your, make sure, because that looks on your business. That's another way of people looking at you, letting them know that, well, maybe she don't care too much about her business because all this misspelling and, grammar and things like that. So you have to make sure that you look good, because again, I've never met Miss Green, but I seen her website. That's my first impression of Miss Green.
Yes. That's what it goes back to. It goes back to what you post on your personal pages. On your personal,
and that's true about, because someone was doing a vendor event and they had something misspelled, and I didn't participate in the vendor event. I think I was petty. But because like you said, it's first impression, because this person or this business, they were marketing themselves as being able to help me, or offer me services, and I'm like, well, you got to get your stuff straight. I know that is we have those little mistakes or whatever, and that probably was petty of me. I was being petty Betty, but that was a turnoff, because I'm like, was anybody going to tell them that this is misspelled? Because I kept seeing it posted over and over and over again, but I guess no one ever told them. So.
Well, real quick, like, people, I sometimes I have to correct people when they say the Rosa Foundation. That's the proper way, right? The Rosa Foundation. But, I like to be different sometimes. So I just say Rosa Foundation. That's my niche for my foundation.
Yeah, he got me together. He says, not an ink. It's just Rosa Foundation. So I say, yes, sir. You know your business. So how often should we post new content on our social media network?
When it comes down to an event, I think you should post it a little bit more than usual. In the beginning, you start out every other day or whatever, or every other week. But as you get closer, you want people to know about your event and try to do a reminder. But sometimes you can overflow people as well with too many posts about the same thing. So you have to kind of gauge it yourself and think and be realistic of it. Sometimes you'll post it too many times and people are like, they'll just pass by it and keep it moving. So you have to gauge your audience.
Yeah, I was going to say that it depends on your type of your business. If you selling things, if you're a nonprofit, if you're trying to get people to come out to events. So like we saying, like maybe 5 to 8 times. Just depends on what you're doing. And with social media, it has something to do with and I hope this comes out right, the algorithms. Is that how
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know if you post too much, it throws it off. If you don't post enough, it throws it off. You just got to be somewhere in the middle. So I guess, that's another topic. You just have to do some research on that to see what is best to, for your brand, to see how often you should post.
So with that being said, Facebook and also Instagram have it where you can boost your events. Do you use that?
I don't now. Like so, my son's business, he does every now and then. Me,
Mhm.
I'm all about that money, and if we got to pay to boost it, no, we ain't doing that.
Mhm.
But uh, I guess it depends on what you're trying to do because he sees the benefit from it. Sometimes he said, from this one boost, I gain like 12 more new customers, or
Mhm.
something like that. So
Mhm.
I
I
guess it
have
all
used
depends.
it. I have used it in the past. I don't use it a whole lot. Like you said, sometimes the money is, the money, you don't really want to spend a whole lot of money on trying to do that because you don't know. I never saw it, because I'm looking on my page, so I never saw it on somebody else, or somebody else said that they saw it in that aspect. So
Mhm.
I'm still learning on how that really works, because it tells you how many people it will reach. But again, you have to pay a certain amount of money for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and sometimes we don't have that money for that. We need the
Right.
money for something else that's more important,
Right.
for me.
Right. So I know I used it in the past. It has worked on some events and some it didn't do so well, but I will say that it actually caused people to go to my page, my nonprofit organization, Margie McLean Foundation, as well as Chemistry Fashion Boutique. I had people to go to it, and I have received some um, good background and now some new customers and things. So I think boosting can help. I will be honest with you. It depends on where I'm boosting. I
Hmm.
don't just boost in my area. I boost all over. I have boost in Canada. I have boost in Europe. I have boost in Africa. I just boost any and everywhere. I just wanted to at least my nonprofit. I wanted to reach the masses. So that's what I've done. And so I think that makes a difference as well. And so again, I have end up doing that. And with that being said, the numbers have been coming in, and I just, like I said, have people coming in, looking at my products and what I do, and sending messages as well. So,
You know,
um,
real
Well,
quick,
Margie,
one good thing that would work also. So let's say you're looking for sponsorship, or if you're looking for just another organization, make a post, and
mhm,
also tag an organization like Pepsi, Coca
mhm,
Cola, Nike,
mhm.
tag them on there, and sometimes that will help. They might be interested in something that
That
you're
is
doing,
correct.
and they
Mhm,
can reach back out to you.
you know what? Ironically, last year when we first started the nonprofit, I had posted how many friends on Facebook that I had, and
mhm,
if each one of those persons will send me $1 to $5, I can have some seed money.
mhm.
So I was playing around with Facebook probably a couple of days ago. It asked me something about boosting or whatever. I didn't pay for it, but I did something, and now all of a sudden, my friends on Facebook, they're cash apping money, and I'm like, huh? Like, oh, you want to support? I'm like, oh, okay, Facebook. All right, you did it again. I forgot all about it. So it looks as if it automatically reached back out to those people and I'm getting money again. I'm like, all right, that works for me.
But thank you. I hope I have some friends that will help me with that. I'm gonna try that. So I hope I have enough friends to help me with the Margie McLean Foundation as well. So thank you for that idea. Friends, if you're looking, I'm gonna be sending out that post with my cash app to let you know. Send that $5 in. That's all I need. Um, so with that being said, and I will say the tagging is as well. I would say Sharon Campbell Solution have um, let me know that the tagging makes a difference. So what I started doing actually on my Instagram was just started going to different organizations and just tagging them, or just going and saying something on their post, and they're gonna be like, "Well, who is this? Let me look and see who that is." So before we end, because it looked like our moderator is coming up, it was good conversation. I hate to end it. Miss Charlotte, can you tell us how we can locate your business, your social media tag?
Well, you can reach out social media page on Facebook at CG Soars. I don't have Instagram yet. That's still my personal page, but that's SEJISOARS. Or you can go to www.cgsoars.org, and it's a donation button there as well. And once you read all the information and the good things we're doing, you can make a donation there. And we also accept Cash App for donations, and that's $CG Soars.
Mr. Rosen?
Oh wow. Rosa Foundation on Facebook. James and Tebony and James Rosa, or James and Tebony Rosa on Facebook, or James Abdul Malik Rosa on Facebook. Those are our three pages. Instagram, Rosa Foundation, and Twitter is Rosa Foundation with two N's at the end.
And you can find Margie McLean Foundation, which you see Margie McLean Foundation at Margie McLean Foundation on Instagram and on Facebook. You can also email me at Margie McLean Foundation at gmail.com. And also you can find me also Margie McLean on Twitter and also on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. This was fun. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you, everyone. Genius is coming, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, thank you, everyone. That was amazing. So we want to make sure that we are promoting. Miss Margie, did you have anything you want to add? I loved hearing from Mr. Rosa and from Miss Green. I know you all have some amazing things going on. Your conversation was awesome.
Yes, one of the things I would like to add is we are starting up our launching on the 24th, Monday on the 24th at 6 o'clock. We're launching our first My Mind Matter teen talk show. This will give teens an opportunity to talk about different topics that they would like to discuss. We always hear from adults, so we want to hear from the teens. This first topic that we're going to be discussing is why are you so afraid to fail and not set up your goals? Next month in February, we want to talk to the teens about what does it mean to be Black in America? With what we see that's going on, we would like to hear from them. How do they feel about being Black in America? In March, we'll be discussing positive relationships. And we also will be discussing financial entrepreneurship in April. And in May, we'll be discussing talking to teens who have parents in prison and how that affects them. On February 10th, we also will be hosting a domestic violence webinar. That webinar will be discussing, this is actually part 3, called When Love Hits Home. And we actually will be talking with those who was raised in a domestic violence home and how that affected them as a child and how it affects them as an adult. And again, we are starting our youth entrepreneurship workshop.
Awesome. That is amazing. That is awesome. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.
And thank everyone for continuing to watch. We want to thank our sponsors.